Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News, with the biggest news this week being that Bandai will be appearing at the 2026 Shizuoka Hobby Show. It is Japan's largest model exhibition where a ton of brands show off their upcoming model kits, figures, action figures, and so on and so on. Some of which are already announced and some of which are brand new announcements. The show will be held from May the 13th until the 17th, and Bandai is promising to have both Gunpla and Gundam Assemble exhibits, so depending on what is or isn't announced, the regular Gundam news might be pushed back 1 or 2 days. Let's hope that it is pushed back. Also, for those planning to attend the show, only the 16th and the 17th are open to the public. Entry is free, but depending on your nationality, some extra steps are required. People living in Japan have to pre-register, and people living abroad have to pass by the reception desk on the day that they want to visit. And talking about figure announcements, this week we only got the premium Bandai Limited FW Gundam Converge Core Psycho Gundam, a repainted version of the FW Gundam Converge X17 Psycho Gundam. The figure now goes for 4,345 yen, 27 US, instead of 2,800 yen, 18 US, but it does look a lot better. The black, red, and yellow are now deeper, the bluish gray is now just normal gray, and most strikingly, the previous normal gray is now metallic. And on top of that, it also got a bunch of markings to make it look even more impressive. For the accessories then, no surprises here, they are still identical. We're getting a stand for mobile suit mode, a stand for mobile armor mode, a shield, and parts to transform it into mobile brick mode. Last week then, we talked about Hello Haro, a crowdfunding project to send a Haro-shaped robot into space. It went live on the 14th, and in less than 2 days it was completely funded. And they still have 75 days to go. I didn't see any stretch goals, so I do wonder what they're gonna do with that money. Maybe send more Haros up there. I will say though, for sending a robot to the International Space Station, they weren't asking for that much money. They were only asking for 3 million yen, which is roughly $19,000. Like, that's a lot of money, but not like the kind of money I would expect to send a robot up into space. Just compare that to the $130 million they invested in the metaverse, and think how many Haros that we already could have had in space if they invested that money into space Haros. But yeah, something is telling me that it should cost way more than that to send a Haro into space, so I feel like a big part of this crowdfunder is just to get people excited about it and to give them the chance of being like a part of this historic moment. Let's talk a bit then about the 3 missions that our little Haro will be undertaking, as well as the 3 world firsts that it will achieve. Mission 1, getting approved. Probably the most important step for our little Haro is to pass all of the regulations that are required to be allowed into the International Space Station in the first place. These will include EMC tests, vibration and noise tests, and then like general safety reviews and all kinds of stuff. Fail these and it's not even going to go up to space in the first place. Mission 2, being able to move around the space station. There will be extensive training on Earth for this, but you know, it's always a little bit different when you get to the actual quote-unquote battlefield. Mission 3, being able to communicate with the astronauts there. And I mean, define communicating, because this sounds like the easiest mission by far. We've had tech that can communicate with you for quite a while now, so it doesn't really sound all that revolutionary. On to those world firsts then. First, number 1. The first autonomous space robot sent to the International Space Station by a private company. Pretty self-explanatory. World first number 2. The first autonomous space robot equipped with the latest Zephyr operating system. This operating system is described as a cutting-edge operating system that has recently garnered a lot of attention from industries where reliability is paramount. For example, IoT, cars, and AI. First, number 3 then is the world's first autonomous space robot to be able to hold a conversation. That is being very specific just to be able to claim that you're the first one, but I mean, cool, I guess. And it's also like the same as those missions. This one feels significantly easier to accomplish than the first two. And if you want to be a part of this project, I will have the crowdfunder linked down below, although of course, support at your own risk. For Hathaway's Flash then, a new week of course meant a new freebie for moviegoers in Japan. People watching The Sorcery of Nim Cersei in its 12th and 13th week will be getting this Gigi Uluru version illustration card. And for the viewers in America, we got a new trailer for the upcoming American release on May the 15th, confirming that you'll be able to watch the movie in both dub and subbed versions. And here's something really funny that I noticed. In the Western fandom, it's pretty common for the sub to be considered superior to the dub. Cause, you know, it's the original and that's how it was meant to be. But that English trailer also got posted on the official Japanese Gundam channel. And there, the Japanese commenters almost seem to be preferring the English dub version. It's like the grass is always greener on the other side. But I do understand their reasoning. If you read through the comments, there's really 2 main points that keep popping up. The first one is that Hathaway's Flash kind of feels like a foreign movie anyways, from the Japanese perspective. So having it in English just feels right, and at the same time also makes it more exotic, again, from the Japanese perspective. And the second one then has to do with the lore. Based on the amount of written English that we see throughout the UC Gundam series, it can be reasonably assumed that English is either just straight up the official language or the de facto official language. So therefore, watching Hathaway in English is lore accurate. And if you want to watch that lore accurate trailer for yourself, I'll of course have it linked down below. In Malaysia and Singapore then, the movie will be shown at the Odex Gala premiere with the voice actor of Hathaway Noah as a special guest. Plus, attendees will also get a t-shirt, a set of AR collectible tickets, a postcard set, and some extra stuff. In Singapore, it's on May the 8th, and in Malaysia, it's on May the 9th. And for Gundam Seed, we are getting these Gundam Seed holographic clear sheets. It is called the Gundam Seed Precious Shot Collection and features 14 famous artworks from Gundam Seed. They're 15 by 6 centimeters, so I guess they're like fancy bookmarks basically, and they're scheduled for a July release. Meanwhile, on the gaming front then, in Gundam Battle Operation 2 for the PlayStation, the Rizel Type N and Heavy Jim Kai have joined the fray, and I think I know what the next development history is going to be about. This thing is just beautiful. While on Steam, the F-89 has become available. In UC Engage, there is a new raid battle, as well as a new unit assembly for the UR Harry Ort and his UR Sumo Gold type. And in SD Gundam G Generation Eternal, we also got some interesting new things, like the Blue Destiny History stages, Challenge main stages for the OG Gundam and Gundam Seed, Grand Offensive Volume 2 giving us the Dynamis Lock-on Stratus and Felt with the Ptolemaios, and some new EX units. There's the UR Farok Season 2 EX version with UR Elan number 5, and the UR XS Gundam EX version with the UR Mao Yasaka. Sentinel's copyright shenanigans will never cease to amaze me. Sometimes the Sentinel pilots are okay, but other times they're not okay, and they're replaced with, like, tangentially related pilots. Like, Mao didn't pilot the X's Gundam, but he did pilot the S Gundam, so close enough, I guess. Just today then, pre-orders went live for the premium Bandai Limited Gundam Arsenal Base Gundam Seed Series Booster Pack Volume 3. One box will cost you 3,300 yen, 21 US, and contains 10 3-card booster packs for a total of 30 cards. Included are cards from Gundam Seed Destiny, and Gundam Seed Freedom, with the flagship cards being Kira and Lacus and the Mighty Strike Freedom, Kigali and the Infinite Justice Type 2, Shura and the Shiva, Stella and the Destroy Gundam, and Rao and the Providence Gundam. And finally, related to the gaming news, eFever Gundam Seed Climax will be hitting Japanese arcades in early August, and it promises to be an improvement over the older Fever Gundam Seed. It'll feature improved gameplay, climactic scenes from the anime, and even moving parts. Unfortunately, we're not talking about a regular arcade machine here. eFever Gundam Seed Climax is a pachinko machine, and on April 27th, a commercial will go live featuring Takanori Nishikawa. In other news then, they showed us the mini shikishi that will be included with the G-Quux Beginning Blu-ray and DVD sets, and I quickly want to go back to that McDonald's collaboration that we talked about last week. The first thing is that someone in the comments thought that they saw a Gunpla that was announced as part of this collaboration. As of the moment of recording, no such Gunpla has been announced, but what does exist are Gunplas from previous collaborations. But the thing is, I also thought that, in passing, I saw a Gunpla that was announced as part of this collaboration, but when I double-checked it, I couldn't find any such thing. So I figured I'd just mention it here in case other people also got Mandela affected by this collaboration. And the second thing that I quickly want to mention is the reason for the bump on the buns, which obviously struck me and other people as kind of weird, because why would it have a bump? But there is actually a reason for them, so thanks to people who pointed it out in the comments. So the thing is, the buns on these specific Tatsuta burgers are freshly made, and part of the process to make them fresh is hanging them up with a piece of string, which then gives us the iconic bump. Of course, I also appreciated everyone making jokes about this thing. As for the stuff you could get this week then, we're immediately going to the reading material with the Zeon Complete Encyclopedia, a guidebook that aims to teach you everything about Zeon, going over things like people, history, and of course, mobile suits. I wonder if they'll also talk about the alternate Zeons that we get in the Giren's Greed games. That would be really cool. For this week's apparel news then, Strict G kicked things off with an embroidered Iron-Blooded Orphans t-shirt featuring the Barbs. For 8,800 yen, 55 US, it became available in physical Strict G stores on the 11th, and together with it, the embroidered RX-78-2, Charzaku-2, New Gundam, and Sazabi t-shirts also went up for sale again. Again for 8,800 yen a piece, 55 US. And you could get even more t-shirts from their third Hikonian collaboration. It celebrates Hikonian's 20th anniversary and features the titular Hikonian featuring several characters from the OG Gundam. You can get Hikonian meeting the Gundam, the Wide Base, and Charzaku 2 on a t-shirt for 4,180 yen, 26 US, and a tote bag for 2,200 yen, 14 US. Or you can get Hikonian meeting the Gundam, the Wide Base, Charzaku 2, and the Zeong on a handkerchief for 990 yen, 6 US, and an acrylic keychain for 880 yen, 5 US. For something a bit different then, we head over to Bankore with two Nari Kitty t-shirts, which you can translate as either pretend t-shirt or make-believe t-shirt, because they're designed to make you feel like either Amuro Ray or Char Aznable. It's a regular t-shirt, but the design is inspired by their uniforms. Adult sizes go for 4,950 yen each, 31 US, and kid sizes go for 4,400 yen, 28 US. And what would the apparel news be without some acrylic stuff? This time from Cospa. In late June, you'll be able to get these G-Quux Tsumamare figures, which translates as pinch figures, because the concept behind them is that they look like you're holding them up pinched between your fingers. and I love that each character has their own like individual reaction to being pinched. Machu looks like she's gonna kill you, Nyan is unamused, Shalia is trying to figure out what's going on, like why you're doing this, Char is definitely not thinking about ways to betray you, Xavier is like, seriously dude? Komoli is just happy to get some attention, Du doesn't really care, nor does the G-Fred, and Sharon's Rose is being lifted from the water. And all of these can be yours for 880 yen a piece, 5 US. And that has been all for this week's Gundam News. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam News.